I want to talk about this book because it's about your decision as a couple to remain celibate before marriage. I think there are probably some people in the audience that are going, that's nuts. You want to test drive the vehicle to, to get a sense of what's going on. I'm very comfortable with my decision, as you are, to have sex with my husband before he was my husband. But obviously you feel differently about it. Why do you think that sex before marriage is a huge mistake? Because you felt this for a long time. It wasn't just when you met Meagan.
Right, because I have been practicing this, since my early 20s.
Right.
Because I really believe that, when the sex was on the table, it was clouding my judgment. It was clouding my ability to get to know the person. Because you're focusing on, hey, how was it? And was it good? And that focus is not really what is going to make a long-term relationship. What I wanted to do is, do I like her heart? Do I like where she's going? Am I into what she's about? And when I took sex off the table, Meredith, I'm telling you, I got so much clarity on people I was dating. And as a man, I began to realize, wait, I can't manipulate her for my own physical needs. I have to actually be honest with her about what my intentions are. And that clarity and that honesty laid a foundation that gave me discipline and success, not just in my personal life, but every area of my life.
Did you find it easy after a point?
It does get easier.
No, you hesitated. You hesitated.
Because I had to really think about it. I was like,
it's
wait.
still hard, but it gets easier.
Listen, I did it for 10 years. So, about year 5, you just get used to what's going on.
Right.
But the reality is when we got together, a year before we got married. And it was probably the hardest.
Got together, you mean just as a couple?
As a couple, yes. We began to date a year before we got married.
Yeah.
And that was probably the hardest during my 10 years.
Right.
Because you knew you wanted to, but you were going to wait.
It was the person we wanted to be with.
You were also celibate at the time that you two got together.
Yeah.
But what caused you to make that decision?
I was tired of making the same decision before. I was tired of being in relationships that would last 2 and 3 years and not really knowing who the person was to the degree that it took me years to learn them. There were things that I think a lot of women and men settle for things in relationships because they kind of make excuses because they're so physically codependent on that person and in the relationship. I need that person, Right. Instead of being able to really see who the person is. And I was just tired of wasting years and years. I mean, granted, there was good times, lessons learned, but at the end of the day, I just felt like I was running in circles, and it was time to do something different. And the second I did something different, the way that I learned him in the first few months was more than I knew someone that I had been with for almost 4 years.
And you attribute that to not having a sexual
Absolutely.
component to the relationship?
Yeah, the sex was just icing on the cake after we got married, but,
What if it hadn't been? What if your wedding night had been disastrous? I'm just saying.
I believe you can teach anybody anything.
Yeah.
Really?
Two people.
Okay. All right.
If two people are connected and they love each other.
So you knew the connection was there.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have a foundation of trust. You have a foundation where you can be vulnerable. And when it comes to sex, being in that environment, we can learn each other and what feels good and what is right. And having the foundation of marriage.
And when you talk about the weight, it's not just about having sex. It pertains to all different parts of your life, right?
Yeah, we talk about the value of delayed gratification in this idea that there is power in patience. And whenever we choose instantly what we want, sometimes we make the wrong decision. And when you practice delayed gratification and you have an ability to wait, what happens is in every other area of your life, you have the same patience. So for me, when we were talking about being in Hollywood, so much of my wait happened while I was an executive in Hollywood. And that gave me a patience about the whole process because there were things I wanted in my career in the moment, but it took years for those things to manifest. And because I was practicing patience personally, it helped me professionally.
It's funny because for so many people, they stop having sex once they get married. So it's
We're trying to change that.
Exactly. Just kidding, Richard. Kidding. DeVon, Meagan, thank you so much. Congratulations on the book. You're two very lovely, lovely people. The Wait is available in stores now.